Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to Daily Grind number 11. Hey, baby, I got a really special episode today. It went a little long, probably about 30-45 minutes. It's a big chunker, but we talked about some really good shit. The funny thing about it is, I started with a topic that I didn't think was really going to turn into such a great conversation, and as we progress through it, I think you will get a lot of value out of this conversation. So I appreciate you tuning in again as always, and I'll catch you in the next video. Grind gang, I love you so much. Peace. What's up, Grind gang? How you living, baby? What's good? What is really good? What's good, YouTube? So happy to have you all here on this Sunday. Sunday! Sky Rain, my baby. Nikki. Love you, girl. Samantha, what's good? How are y'all doing, man? I hope you're having an amazing day. What's up, mofos? I love that shit. What's up, gang? Who's been out there doing that RTP challenge? Who's been out there hitting that RTP challenge? Yo, that shit is dope. I love it. A lot of people have been hitting me up, been getting DMs, been getting comments. Seems to really be working for everybody else the same way it's been working for me. And it's exciting, man. It's exciting. If you don't take my word for it, if you really don't think it'll do something for you, ask somebody else in the grind game, man. Just be like, hey, you try that? You know, you spend like 30 minutes doing what what he said about that RTP challenge, and see what kind of results they're getting. We're only 4 days in. This is my 4th day doing it, and incredible, man, incredible. I'm not gonna say like anything magical happened. Nothing's like just like, you know, falling through my ceiling. Like, didn't nobody knock on my door and be like, oh, here's $1 million, or you know, NBC didn't call me and be like, yo, we're gonna put the Daily Grind on our, you know, nothing like that happened. But what I have noticed is just a complete rejuvenation of spirit. Not only a rejuvenation, but this like super armor. You know, I've been noticing for the last 4 days or so that I just have not felt stress. Like, have not seemed to be worried or anxious or nervous about anything at all. Like all day I just seem to be kind of like contently moving along on my little missions or the tasks that I set myself for that day or whatever, you know. We just seem to be kind of vibing on it, and I think that is just super powerful. That's only 4 days, so like I said, we still got 26 more days to go. I can only imagine what kind of vibes we're going to be having radiating off of us by the end of that. And so if you haven't taken part in it yet, still plenty of time. Get involved with the RTP challenge. I'm gonna break it down one more time for you real quick. All you gotta do, 3 steps, right? Daily gratitude, write down a full page of gratitude. I love to mix it up, man. Mine are like, I am so grateful, or I'm extremely grateful for, super duper grateful that I have, I'm grateful that I am, whatever. I just mix it up, and I literally put no rules on it, you know what I mean? My only rule is you gotta get that finished page. You know, like that's the only rule to this exercise, is you gotta do the full page. And I think that that's really important to it, because something happens for me, and tell me if this happens for you, Grind Gang, if you tried it a couple times already. You'll kind of mindlessly get through like the first third of a page, right? Like those are kind of like your standard, like I'm grateful for air, you know, I'm grateful for my family. Like usually like I get like 7 lines out just knocking out my family alone, you know what I mean? Wow, this person, that person, that person. Then there's like the middle section where you kind of feel like you're being kind of clever and you're coming up with some interesting things, or maybe new things pop in your head and you're like, oh, I didn't think of that. Maybe I'll try that. Yeah, you know, like, oh, I'm grateful for that too, or whatever. Then there's this like last third. Like I get right there, it's like that 2/3 mark of the page where I'm like right above halfway, and all of a sudden I hit this kind of like wall. And I'm like, man, what else am I fucking grateful for, man? There's a lot of shit on here already, man. There's gotta be some other shit out here that I'm, you know what I mean? And then you really start thinking, exactly, Nikki, that's it. At that third, that 2/3 way mark, you really start to have to start digging deep into your mind, into like what your life is really about, and you have to come up with some answers of like shit that you still are grateful for on top of everything that came out kind of naturally and easy. And that's where the real work happens, I think, personally. You know, it's just like the gym. Like you can do 20 reps. If they were easy for you to do, you didn't really build any muscle. You know what I mean? That's just you using your muscles like they're designed to be used. Like me, I could do 10 push-ups right now, and you think I'm gonna get a lot of like results from 10 push-ups? Fuck no, I do 10 push-ups in my sleep. Like, you know what I mean? I've just done so many of them that my muscles well designed to do 10 push-ups. Like, that's just not even worth my time. But if you ask me to do 100, about 70, 75 push-ups in, I'm gonna start being like, you know what I mean? So that's what we're in this spiritual gym right now with our gratitudes. You know, we get about 3/4, halfway, and you're like, well, maybe that's it. That's not it, baby. Squeeze it all the way to the end of the page. You know what I mean? And every day you do that, it becomes kind of easier. You get more creative with it. It becomes more fun. And it grounds itself more in your mindset. You know, now you're just like conditioning your mind to be like, what's positive out there, man? What am I grateful for? You know, how am I, you know, and it starts to happen in the background. So throughout the day, you don't know why you feel so good. You're just feeling good all day, and you're like, man, why am I feeling so good? Because in the background, your mind's like, man, why do we feel good right now? Like, that's what your brain's asking yourself all day. Why do we feel good right now? And you can come up with some really cool answers to that. So we got ourselves in an amazing state this morning with doing our gratitudes. And then, of course, second thing, I think this is the part that I'm going to lose a lot of people on the RTP challenge, right? This is the part, step 2. I was thinking about this morning where I think that a lot of people are going to miss out on a lot of the benefits that you can get from the RTP challenge, okay? And I designed this in a very specific way if you think about it. The gratitude is for you. That's to fill yourself up, right? Now you're filled up to the brim with this like positive glowing energy, right? You're like aura is all set for the day and you're like, cool, man, I am a machine out here. Right? All of a sudden you're like a genie. You know what I mean? Like you're like a genie out here with all this magic inside you, magic potential. But what we do then is we create this genie, but then we never let him out the fucking lamp, right? Like all of a sudden we're just, like I see so many kids out here right now, or just my hippies, my gang out here who are just super inspired, super motivated, super passionate, but they just bebopping around, not doing shit. Just like at parties or just like, I don't know what sometimes they be doing, like just smoking weed and just sitting around. And I'm like, yo, like, people out here, you know, you could get some things right now, like you could manifest some things in the world, like you are a genie. Why aren't you like granting wishes? And if you don't want to grant wishes for yourself, why aren't you granting wishes for the people around you, right? And so having all that positive energy means nothing if you're not going to get up and do something with it. And so that's what step 2 is really, really about. Step 2 is about what do I put all this energy into, right? Now that I'm positive, I have all the power. What am I going to take this power and what am I going to put it into that's going to get me some kind of return back? You know, that's going to, like I said, manifest something in the world that I want. So I want to be Rodtheplanter. You know, that's my truest, highest attention. You know, like one day I want to speak in front of tens of thousands of people. I want to just come on here every morning and be able to do my little live show. I want it to get better. I want it to get more entertaining, you know, all that. But right now, like if I want that to grow or if I want to become that, anything, got to do something every day, right? Got to kind of like start making progress on that. You got to take action. You cannot manifest without action. And so, you can make a cameo. Jaimie's making a cameo. And so too, you got to have an intention, right? You got to like get you something that you want to put into, you know, all your manifestational energy into. So maybe, like I said, it's your art, or maybe it's the gym. You know, you wanted to start a workout plan this year or whatever, and so you start hitting the gym every morning. Right? You're full of gratitude, you're full of happiness. Now you're not approaching those tasks and those things with this whole like, oh man, you know, life's hard, or I don't feel good today. Nope, now you're buzzing like, what's up, baby? What we got today? What we gonna do? How we gonna fuck them up? Fuck it up, fuck it up, fuck it up. You know what I mean? That's how you approach it. So do something. Put that energy into something. Oh, my girl Veggie Sauce on here. She know what I'm talking about. Bailey every day, she takes all that positive energy and she puts it into her Rebuild You projects. You know, into her meetings, into her magazine, into, you know, but pick one thing. Pick one thing that you really, really want to take to another level this month. If it's your school, if you got a B in school right now and you want to take that grade to an A, cool, let's focus on that. We're going to take this B to an A, right? So every day, you know, I'm taking all my positive energy and I'm putting it into this homework. Or I'm putting it into studying this, right? Whatever it may be. To this morning, I was doing handstand push-ups. You want to learn how to do a handstand push-up? Be like, man, that's really cool, man. Rod does handstand push-ups. I want to do that. Okay, there you go. Set that intention. This month, I'm going to do handstand push-ups every single day. What can I put my positive energy into that's going to make me better at handstand push-ups? Right? That's step 2 for the RTP challenge. I'm telling you guys, do step 2. I don't care what the intention is, but set it make it something that you can do for 30 days. It's not about setting a new intention every day. That one, you set an intention for the month, every single morning, how do I put my energy into that intention that I set for myself this month? Okay. Third and final thing, right, is that life, the world, energy, vibrations is not all about you. It's not all about you. It's not all about me and what I get and how cool Rodtheplanter is. You know what I mean? Like, everybody out here doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all about me. Life is a connected source thing. Like, if you think you're going to come out here and you're going to get things from us, if you think I'm going to come out and give you energy or give you money or give you my time or anything, you think I'm going to give you my love, whatever you think you're going to get from me or everybody else out here, you have to give to. You have to give to. This is the third part where I see a lot of people fail, right? Is they got all the energy and they're putting all their energy into all their own shit. And they're just me, I'm a get it. And then all you motherfuckers get the fuck out of my way. Wrong answer, you're probably not gonna win that way, right? Because I'm not gonna fuck with you. I'm gonna tell you that right now, I'm not gonna fuck with you. You know, like if you're like that, I'm not gonna fuck with you. And then so I can only imagine that a lot of people who are like me, you know, law of attraction type style, ain't gonna fuck with you either. And so, if you really want to, like I said, build that community, get things, be a giver, you know, be a giver, be somebody that gives to others. In our society, we reward value, right? It's just very straightforward. Things that are valuable add value to something or somebody else. But like, they're not valuable intrinsically, right? It's really weird like that. So like, you know, gold itself is just a shiny piece of metal. It has absolutely no value whatsoever. But, you know, that perception of gold to somebody else has value, right? So you have to have a perceived value to something or somebody else in the world if you think that we're going to reciprocate a reward to you. And that's what step 3 is all about. It can be so simple. Just go out in the world, find somebody who's inspiring you, who does something that you thought was cool, who, I don't know, man, did a noble deed today or gave you some, but find somebody that you can take all this positive energy you have inside of you, right? You invested some of it into your project. Now just look up from your project for 1 second today, find a creative. And I've always been encouraging so far, pick somebody small, man, pick somebody who would actually appreciate it, who would actually, like, people shout me out and I'm like, you don't understand. Like, that's everything I have for me right now. You 13 motherfuckers on here, that's all I got. This is my audience. Without you, I don't have a show. I have no grind game. So to hear from you 12, 13 people, hey, this is what I really liked about today's show, or I wasn't feeling that so much, or whatever, but this feedback, or for somebody to come on the gram and say, yo, you should follow Rodtheplanter. Like, that shit means shit to me. You know what I mean? Like, that means shit to me. Like, that every day is the thing that keeps me going. This is the thing that I lean to when I'm like, man, why do I even fucking do this shit? Nobody listens to me, you know, because we all get that way. We all get that way. And so some days I'm like, man, why do I do this? I'm broke, and then we've been investing our time and our money and everything, and 2 years later, I'm still talking to 15 people. You know, the thing that keeps me going in that moment when I start having all that doubt is you guys. It's somebody's message. I saw a meme today that said, keep going. Somebody out there is telling somebody else you're dope. And that's true, man. That's what keeps me going. Is maybe 1,000 people aren't out there saying Rodtheplanter is dope as fuck, you should check him out. But there is somebody. There's probably 1, 2 people, 3 people. My mom, somebody out there is like, yo, this dude's dope. You should check him out. How you gonna feel making that person look stupid if you don't show up? You know what I mean? Like, how would I feel if somebody was like, yo, Rodtheplanter is dope. He's really been changing my life and everything. And as soon as that person gets there, my show canceled or I gave up. You know what I mean? So I look at it that way. Be that for somebody today. Give your energy to somebody else. Smile, a handshake, a donation of $1, your help, your time, your energy. All of these things are powerful, man. Those go into your vibe and how your vibe is perceived in the world. So I'm telling you guys, the RTP challenge is a real deal, right? It's got all the workings of everything you need to manifest some intense growth this month. But it only works. Just like anything else. Diets don't work if you don't do them. Exercise don't work if you don't do it. The RTP challenge is not going to do shit for you if you don't do it. You know, you can't just be like, oh, well, I don't have time to write it down, so I'm just going to think a couple and I'll get the same results. Or I'm just going to do the first 2, but I don't really like fuck with people, so I'm not going to shout them out. Like, trust me, you do all 3, okay? And do them for 30 days consistently. I love you. I love you. I spent a lot of time on that RTP challenge this morning just because it seems to be really powerful. Like I said, I've been seeing a lot of results. I think other people are seeing a lot of results. So I do want to encourage anybody who's still hanging out there on the fence about this idea of like, maybe I should or shouldn't get involved. Give it a shot, baby. Give it a shot for 2-3 days. You'll love it. Now, let's get into the real deal about today, which I don't even think I pinned it. I've just been going and going and going about the RTP challenge. Okay, I'll do it again. What to do with negative shit. So actually, I did a poll in the story today about what topic to do, and I was hoping with everything in my body that y'all wouldn't pick this topic. No lie, I'm not gonna kid. That was the first topic that I had thought about, and then I came up with that other one a little bit later, and I was like, ooh, this is gonna be a way better topic. You know, but then I realized that I had left both topics in the picture, so that's why I was like, well, I'll leave it as a vote. Nonetheless, we're gonna talk about what to do with this negative shit. Only reason I didn't want to talk about that is I feel like we've hit that quite a few times here on my channel. You know what I mean? Like, it's something I talk about quite regularly. I did have a different little spin on it today, but ultimately I think you guys are gonna know what I'm getting at here when I start talking about what to do with negative vibes around you, negative things that kind of enter your space, your world, your sphere, your bubble. What I do with them. Either way, so we're gonna talk about that today, and then we're gonna wrap it up. You know, it's cool little live on a Sunday. Tomorrow, we're gonna do Q&As. And then Tuesday, I'm going to talk about that subconscious as a baby. So I highly encourage you to come on Tuesday because I'm going to have 2 days to prepare for this one now. And I also already had a really cool idea. It's going to be a great one on Tuesday. So come Tuesday. And then also again tomorrow on Monday, if you want to ask some questions or if you've been thinking like, yeah, I don't know what Rod thinks about this. Tomorrow's the perfect day, right? What do I do with negative shit? Okay, well, first things first, I'm going to take it to... Okay, I'm gonna give you what I really, truly believe you have to do with negative shit, but then I'm gonna give you the caveat to that, you know, like the consideration, if you will, okay? First things first, you must, at all costs, ignore, avoid, go around, dodge, duck.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
I don't care what the fuck you do, but you cannot be absorbed around negative things, negative energy. You cannot let those things penetrate your mind, okay? Your mind. Now, let me tell you something. You as a physical person, as a being, is going to be around negativity sometimes, right? We've talked about positive would not exist without negative. So for you to have this idea that your world, your physical reality, the world in which that you navigate and operate in every day, is not going to have anything negative in it, is naive. To say the absolute least, right? It must be there. And so yes, you as being a positive person are going to attract far more positive experiences in the world than you'll ever attract negative, right? You're floating up here positive, but I don't care how positive you are. You could be the whitest of white person. Your light just super white. Everything has a black spot. Everything has a black spot. And I'm talking about yin and yang here, guys, right? There's always a little black in the white, and there's always a little white in the black. No matter how cool, calm, collected you are, every now and then, you're going to brush up against some negative ass shit, right?
You become unstoppable, as well as the sole creator of your life, when you harness the power of this polarity. Everything in this universe has its opposite. Light could not exist if there wasn't darkness. Hot couldn't exist without cold. There could be no peace without hatred. Prosperity doesn't exist without poverty. Male could not exist or endure without female. Are you seeing the point here? That's polarity, the law of opposites. This universe is set up for abundance and prosperity. It's our natural birthright to have health, wealth, prosperity, abundance, peace, love, joy, and on and on and on. However, since we live in the third dimension or the physical plane, our natural birthrights have to contain its opposites to exist.
So what are you supposed to do? Now, honestly, when I first started this, that was my number one question. I'm going to get rid of this gun. That was my number one question when I first started this. What do I do? I'm a super positive person, but a lot of people are negative around me. And I would answer it all the time, and I swear to God, people do not like the answers to this. Every time I give people the answer, they're like, well, I mean, come on, there's got to be so much. I got to be able to do something. My answer to you every single time, what do I do if there's a negative energy or person around me? Get the fuck away from that person. Get that person, out of your life. That's my answer. That's my answer. And people be like, but Rod, my mom though, and I love my mom so much. We all love our mom. Is your mom a negative person? Is your mother a negative influence in your life? Is she helping you or is she hurting you? Well, if she's hurting you, it doesn't matter if she's your mom. Like that title of mom means absolutely fuck all shit if she's being an extremely negative influence on your life. So you are trying to attach on to this label of mom and you like just grinding your gears and like thinking somehow I'm going to create this positive experience from this negative person that I have zero control over. That's why you have to leave. Like that's why. This is like why. People are like, Rod, why? Why can't I change them? Listen to yourselves. You know what I mean? Like listen to what you're going to say. How? Nobody's ever changed anybody. Ever. I don't change you. I don't change you. I influence you. I try to suggest that you make changes. I try to be a positive person, like an example, but I can't come up in your life and be like, whip you up real quick and then you turn into Rodtheplanter. There's no such thing. The journey is each in its own, right? Like, you don't know how I got here. You don't know the challenges I had to overcome, the mental battles I had to go through, right? The perceptions, the beliefs that I had that were deep rooted inside of me that I came up with. Like the world happens to us, but then us as people, we also develop our own beliefs, we project our own perceptions into our situations. And so, how could I ever change that? Half the things that you guys believe or think about the world, I don't even know. You don't even know. Like a lot of us, they're happening subconsciously. And I'm gonna talk about your subconscious again on Tuesday, trust me, but they're happening subconsciously. So it's for us to be positive people, working on ourselves, handling all our own shit within our own mental bubble scape, right? That's all we have control over. So if you're controlling that and you're bebopping it, you bring it around over here and you're doing your thing, but other people aren't being influenced or aren't like wanting to like come up to that vibration with you, it doesn't matter how long you just like, you know what I mean? Like, trust me, I have to do this constantly. The reason I am a Rodtheplanter and I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, right? Why did I go into that medical field? Because I tried. I went to school for a little while for psychology and all that, but why didn't I do that? Why did I ultimately not become that? A lot of those people, they don't want help. You know what I mean? They don't want anything. They just want somebody to latch on to, right? They just want to feed off of somebody else's energy. So a lot of people see me or whatever and they're like, I'm a positive person. And so they get in my DMs and they want to just like talk to me all day and like they want me to listen to their problems. And I'll be like, well, this is what I would do. This is how I fix it real quick. Bam. You know, cool advice. But then they're like, but, you know, and then they just complain and they whine and they're just trying to, and I cut those people off immediately. And then people are like, but you're Rodtheplanter. You're supposed to help. No, that's not what I'm here to do, right? I'm here to help the people who are seeking the help. I can only help people who want to be helped. I can only show you, like, you can only lead the horse to the water, right? So if you're thirsty out here, trust me, I know where there's water. I know where all the water is. I found plenty of water. I got water for days around this motherfucker. But I can't, like, force it down people's throat, and I'm not going to sit here and waste my time trying to. In the end, I'm just going to get frustrated. I'm going to go down to the place that they're at because if I can't pull them up, right? I don't have no control over that, but I am being influenced by them, right? Now, because I couldn't go be a psychologist and because, like I said, I didn't like the whole like scheme of that, I felt like I was going to get trapped. I was going to get trapped like trying to help people who I don't want to say can't be helped, but probably aren't going to be helped, right? Or not going to help themselves. I would much rather come out here, just be a positive person, find people who are like, kind of like, you know, just kind of lost their way in that or just never really learned how to instill that. And they can say, hey man, I see you over here and you're like getting awesome results and shit. Like, could you show me how to do that? And I'd be like, yeah, sure man, this is how you do it. You know, this is what you do. And this is how you do it every day. You gotta do this, this, and this. And then those people will get it, you know what I mean? Because they're looking for that. They were just like slightly off their path. They're gonna be like, oh, that's pretty interesting. All right, cool. Let me make these little tweaks, and then they make change, right? But again, I am Rodtheplanter, so I couldn't do that at the beginning. I didn't know enough. I hadn't invested enough in my own energy and stuff to be coming out here trying to fuck with a bunch of negative people and trying to make them positive, right? So here's my advice to you. If you're around negative people or negative vibes, a negative situation, a job, a boss, a coworker, it's mostly people, right? Because I mean, things inherently don't have bad vibes. Like money's not a bad thing, right? Guns are not a bad thing. Like people are like, oh, guns are bad. No. People who grab guns and shoot people are really, really bad people. But, I mean, whether they had a gun or not, like if I wanted to, I'd just walk up and kick you in the fucking face. You know what I mean? Like I don't need a tool to do any of that. So, my point, what was I? Oh, things are bad. So normally the vibe is coming from a person, right? It's coming from a relative or a person. I understand that there's a lot of people in the world that you're supposed to have love for. You know, there's people who have titles in your life. Best friend, mom, dad, whatever. And in our society, we've attached a lot of privilege to those titles. Like you don't have to earn being a mother these days or a father. You just get that by throwing your sperm around here. You know, like you just and then people like call you dad. But being a dad or being a father and then just being a father are two totally different things, right? And so my point is, don't like let people occupy space in your life just because they're supposed to be something that they're not. If they are not that, then they are not that. Go find somebody who is. Trust me, they're out there. Plenty of people who want to be a mothering, nurturing, mentoring spirit to young girls and young men out here, right? Plenty of people. Might not be yours, and that sucks. I feel for you really, really bad. I do, I feel for you. Some people's parents are dead. I get it, you know, like it's tough. You wanted the perfect mom. She ended up not being the perfect mom. I get it. But for you to create a life around that one source of negative energy because you just want it so bad to have a mom that's good and ignore all the other good influences in your life. You know what I mean? Like people won't do things. They won't go out, you know, they won't take a chance or go across the country and like follow their dreams because their negative mother keeps telling them that it's impossible. You'll never make it. How you gonna... Of course she's going to say those things. She's negative. She doesn't believe. You know what I mean? And so for us to be like, well, she's my mom. She must know best. So I'm going to do what my mom says. Knowing that she's negative, right? Or whoever. You know, I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe it's pops. Maybe it's just your wife or husband, right? It could be anybody in your life. Sometimes people come in as positive influences and then they change over time into negative influences. Get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, sorry. Like, and it's not like I just immediately be like, you're negative, get the fuck out, right? But I'm saying, like, usually if you're coming to me, asking me what to do about it, that means that you've probably been banging your head on it for a while, right? You've probably been trying to, you know, show that person the example, trying to encourage that person to take steps to move forward or whatever to lift their vibrations. But if you're noticing that you're not lifting them and they constantly make you feel worse, you have got to get away.
I want to get away.
Because that's poison. That's toxic. That's the same shit that people will say all the time. Negative people will drag you down. They'll suck you in. That's what they mean, right? You are the people you spend the most time with. So if those people are negative, it does not matter how positive you are, they will eventually influence you. You can be the most positive. If I'm super positive, but if I hang around 5 negative motherfuckers, I will be less positive than I was. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you. You will find me naturally complaining more if I hang around complainers. Because that's just acceptable in that circle, right? That's just something that in that vibrational energy is acceptable and allowed.
I wanted to speak on complaining ass niggas and niggas acting like bitches and shit like that. If your job ain't shit, don't fuck with the job. Don't complain, take the money and be like, I hate this job, but I need the money because, you know, got bills to pay and all this other stuff and all this. I'm like, then stop fucking complaining, nigga. Let this shit go. I just can't be around negative, complaining ass motherfuckers. Or it's like,
You come around my vibrational energy and try and complain, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna walk away from you. I'm gonna get you the I'm gonna be like, man, somebody come get their mans over here. This dude's not stop complaining. I'm not about to listen to this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I don't care about your job. I don't care about what this dude did to you in the park. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna waste my time. And that's how you gotta be. Negativity just doesn't have a place. This is my caveat to that. A couple caveats, okay? First caveat. You could be the negative thing. Like, people always, like, I do this too. Like, we all be like, I'm the positive one. You're fucking this all, like, your negative energy is ruining this whole project for us. If you were just more positive, we would be getting better. You know what I mean? I'm like, you don't really sound like a positive person. You know what I mean? Like, you don't sound like you're being compassionate. You don't sound like you're being understanding. You don't sound like you're giving out love here. You sound like you're being critical and like an asshole kind of, you know? Like, so be the thing that you want. Assess yourself too. If you're the problem, I'm gonna go get my shoe. 1 second, the floor is cold. My shoe somehow ended up in my dog's water bowl. That's really funny. You could very well be that negative energy in the situation. You know what I mean? And so have that self-awareness. But any negative situation that you're gonna end up in has two situations or two like categories. It's either something you can do about it, right? So like maybe this month you're not gonna be able to pay your rent. And the reason you can't pay your rent is because you haven't worked in 2 months. Well, that's something you can do about. You know, like you can go out and raise the money, get the job, find something, whatever. Like there's things you can do to bring the resolution to your situation into your life. If you can do things, you need to be doing those things, right? You cannot just sit and say like, well, this is a negative situation, so now I'm going to detach from this. Well, no, my nigga, if it's your fault that it's negative, like you need to fix this shit. Like you need to now be positive enough to take responsibility for your situation and fix it. So that's the caveat here. This is not about ignoring all your problems. Like as soon as somebody comes to you and like gives you feedback that you don't like or feedback that isn't congruent with what you think you are, does not mean that they're being negative, right? They could just be trying to help. They could just be trying to give you honest to God feedback and advice. And so that's the caveat here. Trust me, if you know, this is what I say, if you like the results you're getting from the actions and vibes that you're putting out, then keep doing you, baby. Can't tell you any different. If you like the life, if you honestly look around, you're like, love my friends, love my people, love the energy that I give and get from other people. I don't feel like people are trying to connive me or anything. It's just you one little person here I have a lot of like conflict with. Well, then fucking get that person out. But if this person who truly loves you and cares about you is like, hey man, you know, like things just used to be so much different. And I just, you know, lately we've been having a lot of time, you know, a hard time. And you be like, well, man, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Well, maybe go ask some other people, right? But if 2 or 3 people in your life, 4 people in your life are like, nah, you do kind of have a temper problem, my man. Like, it's time to assess that then. You have to fix that. But you can't say, well, everybody else is negative. They just don't understand my anger problem, right? It doesn't work that way. You have to have that self-awareness, that self-assessment. And honestly, the self-assessment comes first. Before I ever try and like assess what other people are doing to me, I ask, what am I doing in this situation? So if I'm all of a sudden experiencing something that I didn't want to or didn't intend to or not appreciating very much, my first question is, what am I doing here? Like, how did I end up here? So if I do end up in a room full of complainers or toxic people, as we say, toxic people, if I end up in a group of them and all of a sudden I look around and like my 5 closest friends are toxic people, I'm asking myself, how did I end up falling in this group? You know what I mean? Like you ever start fucking with somebody and be like, man, how the fuck I end up fucking with this dude? Like, these people are trash. Like how am I fucking, like I'm so much better than this, but you end up fucking with those people, right? So, gotta have that self-awareness, keep that junk out. Whatever. Third caveat, right? What's my other caveat? There's another caveat. No, don't let me lose it. It's the problem with running a live show sometimes. Okay, I can't get hyped up. I gotta figure out what this other caveat was. You gotta make sure that you're listening to outside influences. You can't just go off thinking you're always the positive one. I'll remember it and I'll put it somewhere. I can't remember it because it just came to me while we were talking on the live. I was like, oh, I gotta make this point too. But first I'm gonna make the other point that I had already scheduled to make. Point that just came up, lost it. That's okay. Let's see what kind of points you guys got. Make it a negative, a positive, or just find peace with the letting go. I'm telling you guys, so much of happiness is letting go. So much of happiness is letting go. I see a lot of people who are very, very unhappy in their lives because they're afraid of letting go of negative situations or people in about that time. So trust me, if you do, like it's fear. It's fear, baby. And realize that fear is that negativity. Oh, last thing. Oh my God, yes, last thing. Okay, I remember, they fall into 2 categories, right? You can either do something about it, or the other thing is negative shit comes on you sometimes that you can't do anything about. You get cancer. Your mom, dad that you loved a lot gets hit by a bus, right? Like there's sometimes things that just happen in the world, in our physical reality, that we have no control over. And thank you, Toodles, for reminding me. That's when what we were just talking about, that skill becomes all the more important. Right? If you can do something about it, you have to do something about it. If you cannot do anything about it, if it is literally out of your control, you must, I mean this, let it go.
Let it go, let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Like go, right? Now, why am I emphasizing let it go? Because some people let it go, but they be like this. This is letting go. Like, okay. Whatever. Let me use a good example. Cancer. I have cancer. Okay. You can be positive about your cancer situation. That's one way to address the situation, right? You can be like, you can take cancer, which is a negative situation, and you can apply a positive mindset to that. I've tried that, and it works. It's just a really hard, really long process, right? A really long
cancer.
Huh?
Not with cancer.
No, I've never done it with cancer. Excuse me, never done it with cancer. I have done it with a terrible disease. I've healed my body. I've gotten myself out of a bedridden situation. It was not cancer. Nonetheless, it doesn't have to be cancer though. Like it could be any situation in which you don't have control over, right? Sometimes we'll let it go and we'll say, my mom died when I was 7. I'm totally over it. I'm okay now, but I just wanted you to know. I just met you, but the first thing you should know about me is that my mom died when I was 7. I'm completely over it though. I'm totally over it. Like I let it go a long time ago. But you see what I'm saying? Like if you let it go, if you truly let it go, the first thing you would not tell me about is your dead mother. Like that's obviously something that's heavy in your subconscious. Heavy, right? Same thing if you're sick. And I see a lot with sickness. I did the same thing. Even when if you've heard me in my story with sickness, right? When I was sick, I would look in the mirror every day and I'd tell myself, it's getting better. It's getting better. You're getting better, Rod. Every day I'm getting healthier and healthier and healthier. Right? Great affirmation. Extremely great affirmation. But what was happening was when I was looking in the mirror, right? I was just looking at the parts of my skin and everything that were still fucked up, and I would just be focusing on those, looking at those sore spots, being like, you're getting better. This stuff right here on my face, yeah, that little spot right there, and that spot, and all these negative shit on my body is getting better, okay? We're all following, right? It's a negative situation that I'm positively trying to affect. But what happens is you don't end up positively affecting that situation. What you end up doing is you end up holding on to that situation. And what we just talked about, if it's something you cannot do anything about, you must let go. Go. As in, bye. As in, like, when you meet me, my name's Sherrod Sloan. Nice to meet you. I'm a happy, healthy person. I love life, and I love doing whatever it is that you want to do. And it'd be like, well, let's go jump off a cliff. I'm not really quite in the healthy, or whatever, something that I can't do right this second, but I would love to explore that kind of opportunity in the future, right? Or maybe somebody suggests it, and now you say, honestly, I can't partake in that. I can't drink liquor because I'm actually kind of battling with cancer right now. But thank you for the opportunity, or thank you for the offer, right? Now I know that, and I'm like, damn, that's bad, cancer, right? And you told me just because you want to be like respect. But let me tell you something, guys. If you are sick, or if you are hurt, or if you're dying, get that shit out. Ignore it. Forget about it. I did not see substantial growth in my health or in negative situations like that until I literally let them go. Pretend like they don't even exist anymore. And it's very difficult. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that it's easy to do, right? It is literally, and I'm talking about health now because we kind of just went on this health tangent, but literally the hardest thing in the world, literally the hardest thing in the existence to manifest. Why, right? Right now, I don't have any money, right? But I can convince myself that I have money. I see things around me in which that I can justify. I got this really fancy camera I'm looking at. That thing costs $2,000. So I must have some type of money or wealth in my possession, right? But when you're in pain, when your body physically hurts, the hardest thing to do in the world is try and convince yourself that you don't hurt, is that you feel perfectly fine, right? You have to. You have to do what I call synthesized happiness.
Happiness can be synthesized. Sir Thomas Browne wrote in 1642, "I am the happiest man alive. I have that in me that can convert poverty to riches, adversity to prosperity. I am more invulnerable than Achilles. Fortune hath not one place to hit me." What kind of remarkable machinery does this guy have in his head? Well, it turns out it's precisely the same remarkable machinery that all of us have. Human beings have something that we might think of as a psychological immune system, a system of cognitive processes, largely non-conscious cognitive processes, that help them change their views of the world so that they can feel better about the worlds in which they find themselves. Like Sir Thomas, you have this machine. Unlike Sir Thomas, you seem not to know it. We synthesize happiness, but we think happiness is a thing to be found. Now, you don't need me to give you too many examples of people synthesizing happiness, I suspect, though I'm going to show you some experimental evidence. You don't have to look very far for evidence. As a challenge to myself, since I say this once in a while in lectures, I took a copy of the New York Times and tried to find some instances of people synthesizing happiness. And here are 3 guys synthesizing happiness. I'm so much better off physically, financially, emotionally, and almost every other way, mentally, almost every other way. I don't have 1 minute's regret. It was a glorious experience. I believe it turned out for the best. Who are these characters who are so damn happy? Well, the first one is Jim Wright. Some of you are old enough to remember. He was the chairman of the House of Representatives. And he resigned in disgrace when this young Republican named Newt Gingrich found out about a shady book deal he had done. He lost everything. Most powerful Democrat in the country, he lost everything. He lost his money, he lost his power. What does he have to say all these years later about it? I am so much better off physically, financially, mentally, and in almost every other way. What other way would there be to be better off? Vegetably, minerally, animally? He's pretty much covered in there.
You have to lie to yourself. You have to literally let it go. You have to start to try to erase it from your subconscious mind. So it's not about, I have cancer and I'm trying to make it better. I'm a healthy person. I'm healthy. I'm manifesting perfect health for myself. When I meet people, I approach them as a healthy person. I speak as a healthy person. I think of myself as a healthy person. I eat as a healthy person. I move my body as a healthy person. It might hurt. I get that, right? But as long as we acknowledge the pain, as long as we feed that negative force that we have no control over, right? It came from a spiritual manifestation of play, right? I don't know why it came. It came to teach you something, probably, right? So my advice to you, learn what you need to learn and then get on with your life, right? If it's not going to go away, I don't know. Same thing. I manifested for 3 years my health before I could finally sit here being completely healthy. So you can manifest, being cancer-free, and I know that you'll still be in pain, right? But my point to you is your brain will start to synthesize happiness. So your brain will create the happiest life that you could ever have with your situation that you're in right now, right? But if I wake up in the morning, whether I'm in pain or not, whether I'm physically in pain or not, if I mentally remind myself I'm in pain, if I mentally draw focus or attention to the pain, if I mentally give it energy, if I feed it in any way, I'm manifesting it, I'm perpetuating it, I'm giving it life, right? Maybe not a lot of life, because you can give things a lot more life depending on how much focus, but the fact that you're even giving it your manifestational focus, the fact that you pointed at it and said, this is something that I deal with, like this is a reality in my mind, as long as you have that, it's going to keep pestering you. It's going to keep, you're going to keep remembering it. I'm having success, I'm having amazing amounts of success quitting smoking right now, right? All because I no longer have the perception of myself as a person who's quitting smoking. I'm just not a smoker. I just don't like that. I don't, you know what I mean? That's just something I don't do. I'm not telling myself, 7 days down, Rod, keep it going, buddy. I don't wake up every morning and be like, man, you're doing really good. Or when I meet people, I'm not trying to be first thing you need to know about me is I quit smoking cigarettes, I'm just doing it. I'm just letting that experience kind of fade away from my existence or fade away from my reality. And it is, it is. Slowly but surely, every day it's easier and easier to be a non-smoker. right? Like, just what I am. I don't smoke. People offer right now, you offer me a cigarette, what am I gonna say? No, I don't want it, thank you. Why? Because I'm not a smoker, I don't smoke. You know what I mean? Like, why would I say yes to a cigarette? I don't smoke. Never smoked in my entire life. Think it's gross, think it's disgusting, would not touch it. Gross, no, I'm good. But a lot of you know I smoked for 15 years. So you know what I mean? Like, but every time when I was like doing that, oh, I smoked for 15 years, and now it's gonna be really hard for me to get over this. I'm about to go through this really negative situation. It's gonna be really difficult for me, but I'm gonna be positive and put my head down and grind through this super negative I'm just reinforcing, right? So, I'm gonna leave you with that. That is so motherfucking like meta, I guess. I don't even know how to, like, that's just so like it. That's the sauce. Like, that's the hard part of being like a law of attraction master, right? Is that you cannot fake it. You absolutely 0% cannot fake it. You can fake it to me. Now you can come out here and pretend to me that you're being positive or that you're manifesting from a positive side, but it's really either you are or you're not. You know, like I said, like you can come out and be like, cancer's doing a lot better today, or you just are like, yo, I'm happy, nice to meet you, right? But there is no like faking it. People come out and they try and pretend. They're like, well, if I just look successful, pretend to be successful, pretend to be happy, pretend to be cool, pretend to be loving, pretend to be caring, pretend. You can pretend. The ego can fucking come out here. I can put on clothes. I can put on a corset so tight, make you look so fucking skinny. You know what I mean? I can do a lot of things to pretend. But in the end, you gotta go home and take your shirt off. In the end, you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and you know, me, you, and this kid down here that we're gonna talk about on Tuesday, they know. You ain't lying from this motherfucker. This motherfucker been with you since before you were born. Since before you even knew who you were as a person, this thing been with you. So if you think you're gonna lie to this about whether or not you're truly being a positive person, or whether you're truly happy, or whether you truly gave it all, you know, people are like, I tried everything. I gave it my best shot. You can lie to me. You can tell me that you tried a billion things, but this thing knows. That thing knows. And so whether you can lie all day, it's not gonna give you the results you're looking for if you think you're gonna try and fake it or fool it. The only way to get the results out of that thing is to train it, is to actually do it, is to actually be living from that path, the way, as they say. I can't show it to you, right? It's something you have to find, but you'll never find if you're never looking. So you gotta look. It's a constant searching, right? I love you so much. But once you find that place, I guarantee you that you will manifest from it constantly and consistently, right? And you will enjoy everything that you get from it. I don't worry too much these days about my vibe. Not these days. Now, obviously, that's because why? Because I'm very self-sufficient. Like I'm very self-monitoring. You know, you see me. Like I'll be like, Rod's not living up to his potential right now. You know, there's no ego about that. There's no like, I want people like, you know, I deleted my whole Instagram. People be like, some people would have anxiety over that. They'd be like, I don't know how I'm gonna face the world anymore now, but I only got 200 followers and people are gonna think differently about me and my content and blah, you know? Like if that's underneath that, but you think, oh, I'm cool. Nope, sorry son, you're manifesting that. If you have that insecurity, you're manifesting that. So get real with yourself. If the negative shit's inside of you, you gotta fucking get it out. But once you get it out, now you gotta stop people from trying to put it back into you. You know, like once you got it all out and you're clean, that's great. I walk around the world and I'm usually like I said, if you got a problem, that's usually your fucking problem. I don't care. Like you're not gonna get me involved. People try all the time come over to me and be like, try to get me involved in their problems. Get me all excited about their problem. Like, good luck, man. Love you. Peace! You know what I mean? Like, I'm good because I'm not gonna get involved. I don't care. Like, it's not my business. You know what I mean? Go some more with those vibes. Go over there. But you gotta be constant with it. I love it. This is such a fun game. This life that we're playing, this life game we're playing, so much fun, man. So much fun. And it's really actually an easy game to play, but you gotta really like get in the trenches and start playing for real. Too many of us are like just simulating the game.
Well, they're playing it with no fucking rules. Like you don't know the rules to the game of life, so you're clearly not gonna win.
That's true too. Alright, I love you so much, Grind Gang. I'll see y'all out on the YouTube, right? Go check out the YouTube. Gonna do some cool content with that. You see? See, I got a whole content plan coming. I'm crossing all platforms. And last thing, I know I kind of went long, but if you're here, then this is probably the perfect person, that you're the perfect people to talk to about this. If you've still hung with me for the last 25, 30 minutes. I'm starting the Patreon. Y'all know we've been talking about the Patreon for a long time, right? And I've been saying that it's coming. Please, 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 please consider being a member of my little Patreon, right? I do not make money as Rodtheplanter. Never have, right? I used to do plan jams, right? I used to do plan jams, which were like one-on-one sit-downs and stuff. The problem with that is I have only 24 hours in a day, right? So if I were to sign up people for plan jams, 20 people for plan jams, I would literally not have enough time in a day to even service those people. So I came up finally, after 2 years of coming out and trying to offer as much value as I possibly can, I finally think I've devised a plan to monetize my little business here. And no, it's not a requirement. Like I said, everything, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, but I just have to find some way to be able to grow into this thing. So if you are receiving some type of value from this, right? If you come on here and you appreciate this, you want it to go deeper, you want more, I'm gonna start releasing merch. Cool thing about my merch is that I'm not selling merch. Like I'm not just gonna sell, I'm not gonna make merch, I'm not making shirts, not making anything. If you see me releasing something, it's a collaboration I did with another creator. You know what I mean? It's somebody else who has a clothing brand that they're extremely passionate about, love, and they're gonna make me something, a custom piece for me, right? Same thing, you're gonna see the new Grind Gang chains come out real soon, right? Super fucking dope. Thank you, Aya Indigo, thank you, Jessica Shutt, just crushed it. I can't even explain to you. I pushed this girl to the limit to make something that she had never made before, never even, had no concept or vision to even create. So I pushed her completely out of her boundaries, and she came up with just the most amazing piece of jewelry that I think it's just personally amazing. And so same thing, you won't have to buy that. You enter the Patreon and it comes to you because you're Grind Gang now. And then once you're a Grind Gang, you get the chain. And then every other piece of merch that we fucking release from there on out, you're gonna get a piece of that, right? Everything that it's gonna be there. So this is how I'm gonna create a business from what I do. This is how I'm going to grow to get to be Rodtheplanter 24/7 all day, never have to work, never have to, I can just focus on making the best Rodtheplanter shit I could possibly make. If you choose to be a part of that journey, I really, really appreciate it. If you have any suggestions, right? You guys are on the other side of this. I can sit here all day long and say, this is how much I'm worth. And this is what I think is good value for people who consume my content. But I don't know. I don't know how valuable this truly is to you in your everyday life. So, help me. Send me some suggestions. Be like, hey, my nigga, there's no way in hell you're ever going to get somebody to pay $500 a month to fuck with you. Now, I do think that that's possibly, possible. But, you might not think it's possible now. But, fuck with me. If you've been fucking with me with Grind Gang for 2 or 3 years, you're going to be making this hand over fist. 2 or 3 years from now, you're gonna be manifesting $500, and I hope that you remember me, and you'd be like, hey, you know what? Now that I'm a millionaire, billionaire, I'm gonna go back and help that guy who helped me get this mindset or whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and join his $500 premium club. Oh, my internet did not appreciate me plugging. Internet was like, no, stop plugging, no more. Okay, but no, real low. That's gonna be good. And the same thing too. This is not me trying to charge you for what I've already done. This is me trying to add value to you. That it hopes that I will cross a threshold where that's worth something. You know what I mean? I'm trying to up the level of my content to a point where people find enough value in it to reciprocate with dollars so that I can live. the old added grind of being an artist. All right, I love you guys so much. I will see y'all tomorrow right here on the Daily Grind. Hey, it's Q&A. I will post today a question block, right? The question block will be for questions to be answered tomorrow in the live. So if you got one, if you've been thinking of one, whatever, if you know you're going to be in the live tomorrow and you just want to hear something that's going to resonate with you, drop a question in there. It may get to it, it may not, but at least be fucking a part of the show. I love you. Thank you again. They're all on YouTube. Catch me on Facebook soon. Catch me on the podcast. Catch me on Patreon. Catch me just fucking shit up out here. I love you.